All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a Ask Me Anything. I put something up on my story yesterday and you guys put in your questions, so let's get into them. Now, we've done a Q&A before, but I thought we'd just try something a bit different, leave it open to anything. So I'm a little bit nervous, but let's see how we go. Have you ever done a podcast? I've been involved with a few different podcasts, a few with Byron actually, which have been pretty good. Although I would really like to have a podcast because I feel like there's a lot I could share about what I've been through with my diving experience, everything like that, and pass it across in a more kind of upfront form, because with TikTok it's so short. With a podcast we'd be able to share a little bit deeper with everything. So I do really want one of those. Are you done with traveling the world? We're never done. We're just getting started, but no, it's good to be home. I've spent the last 4 or 5 months in and out of home, and the last 4 just basically overseas. It was so much fun, but now I really wanted to be home, back at work, and get back into it. Like, I could travel the world all year round and make content, but I prefer to be home in Sydney with my friends, with my family, with my community, chipping away at diving, my social media, and my Sam Straws. Like, I'd rather be here. But I'm glad I got to travel the world. If you could have one superpower, what would it be? I think I'd like to fly. And I think it's because of my diving. It'd be much easier to win competitions. What was the best part of the UK? When we went to Edinburgh, that was beautiful. It was so chill. It was in Scotland, and I was amazed by all the architecture. But then when we went over to Birmingham, it was beautiful in a different way because it was the Commonwealth Games and the vibes were high, and I really enjoy it. And then London was very different again, just very busy, lots going on. So I quite liked all of them. But I would have to say, I think Edinburgh was my favorite just because it was so cool and it was so old but so modern as well. Like, outside was really old, but inside was really modern and prestigious. So I thought it was a really cool place. Although I didn't train very well, I kept copying injuries. So I ended up doing more sightseeing there than I did training, simply because I could not train because I hurt my lower back and my upper back. It was interesting, very stressful because I had the Commonwealth Games around the corner, but also I had to just go out and explore and do things to keep my mind occupied when I couldn't train at that point. Would you go to Germany? I've actually spent a fair bit of time in Germany. I competed my first ever international in Germany. I won one of the biggest junior events in Germany, which is this medal right there. I've been to Dresden twice, Berlin, and Rostock. We've driven down the Autobahn too in like a mini bus, which was pretty hectic on the diving trip. So yeah, I actually quite like Germany, and I've also been to Frankfurt. And I've been there a fair bit, and I've done a fair bit of diving there. A lot of my competitions have been in Germany. And I like the German bakeries, the schnitzels and the pretzels. Oh, and the sausages. Love them all. The only thing about Germany is it takes so long to get there from Australia. When we went to Dresden, it took like 30 to 40 hours. It was like 3 flights. Then we had to get like a train, then a tram, then we had to walk. It was like the longest journey ever. It's like Mission Impossible, but we got there. Would you ever quit diving, and why? Oh, okay. When it comes to diving and nearly anything I do, I feel like I do it because I enjoy it, and because I enjoy it, I become better at it. And if I stopped enjoying my diving and I really didn't like going, I would quit. I would stop. I wouldn't go, because the amount of training it requires to be good or to achieve at least the level that you would like to requires a significant amount of effort. And if you don't love what you do, then you're not willing to put in the amount of effort that it would take to get where you want to go anyway. So if I stopped loving diving today, I'd probably give up today. But as long as I'm loving it and enjoying it and like loving the process, and you don't love it every day. Some days you don't really want to go because it's hard, or you're tired, you don't want to get out of bed. That's some days, but as a whole, I do really love it, and I'll continue to dive as long as I do. How do you find motivation when things are going wrong? It's a great question, and it's a constant battle. When you've got your vision and nothing's going to plan, it's all going the wrong way, you're getting these curveballs, things you didn't expect, which always happen. It's never as smooth as what you planned, no matter how good your planning is. You always get these curveballs, and I found, for me, the thing that always keeps me motivated and gets me through is just remembering that the universe could be testing you or seeing how much you'll take, and you just gotta be like, you know what, I'm gonna get through this, I'm gonna make it work, I'm gonna get where I wanna go. And you just keep that vision in your head of where you wanna go, and you just keep visualizing and keep finding a way. And you gotta remember, knowing anything you want to achieve, the way to do it has always been here. You just need to figure out how. And if someone else has done it, then you could probably do it as well. So you've just got to find the way. And if something's not working, you just keep changing it up until something does. And then eventually you'll figure it out. Like I've had some really like challenging problems with diving, like with twisting or different things like that, where it comes off as impossible, or it's been going wrong for months and you think, you know what, this is just not going to work. But you're like, no, there is a way. We can find a way. We just have to keep trying something different until we get there. Keep chipping away. When are you visiting Melbourne next? Oh, all right, Melbourne. I actually don't know. I spent a lot of time in Brisbane and a lot of time in Adelaide. Melbourne, I actually don't go to that often, but I was up there for the F1s earlier this year with the boys. So maybe we'll be back up for that. But I don't know. I haven't really got too many plans to go to Melbourne at the moment. If something comes up, I'll be there. But at the moment, Sydney's the place to be. Always has been. How do you manage jet lag in competition? It's definitely something you get used to, and something that's always challenging. But when you're in that mindset to compete and be at your best, nearly nothing can get in your way except for a severe injury. Whether it's a rough training session or jet lagged or you're super fatigued, nearly none of it will kind of get in the way too much because you just know what you're there to do, but you just manage it. For example, I used to try and like stay up, and this could be the complete wrong advice, but for me, I've always just found trying to sleep as much as I can on the plane has just been the most helpful thing. Like people say you should get to the same time zone and then work backwards and try and sleep on that schedule. Maybe, I don't know. For me, I've just tried to sleep as much as I can and hope for the best. And that's been really effective recently, like the most effective strategy that I've come up with. So that's what I do. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I just find sleeping as much as possible. And then when you get there, just taking the adequate rest each night. Like I'm pretty diligent with my sleep schedule, especially around competition. So sleeping as much as you can, diligent on your sleep when you get there, and you should be right. Do you keep a journal? What things do you put in it? Oh, okay. It depends. If I'm away for like a work trip and I have to keep documentation, I'll keep documentation. But on a daily, I typically have a few books, but this one, my nana got me for Christmas, and I just keep in there like different things to do, like things that need to be done. So it's not really like a journal, but it's like a to-do list, and it's something I bring with me everywhere because say I've just finished training and I've got an hour before I need to be to shoot, I can open this up, see what needs to be done today, and then if there's something I can tick off in the hour, I'll do it. But if I don't have this with me, I might just completely forget about that task I had to do. And I feel like trying to be successful in any field is just like a significant amount of small things done right. And if you can do those small things all the time, then hopefully you should be right. Do you plan daily, weekly, long-term goals? Yes. In fact, I have 100 goals on my wall here, and I have all my major goals. Like I had 3 for this year, and I got them written down as well. I got my vision board over here. I'm really about that stuff. I'm really about it because even if I'm not reading the 100 goals a day, like it's putting it out there like to the universe, and I get to think about it and see it every day. And even if I'm not reading it, it's kind of like in your subconscious mind, but I always know what I'm working towards and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that kind of helps me do it, because then when things do get hard, like training, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes you only get out of bed, but you read the goals and it's like, yeah, that's right. Like that's why I'm doing it. I want to be here. Like this is good. And then you enjoy the process and you're working towards a goal. So it's a win-win, but I'm very big on goals. Very big on it. It's proven to be very effective. Could you do a meet and greet? Yeah, a lot of people have asked me to, and I'd love to. The way I was thinking about doing it though was maybe setting up like a big cleanup, and then we could do a meet and greet, and I could bring lots of bags and we could do a massive cleanup of an area, and that could be like, and we can get photos and have a good time, make some content around that. But then we could do like a meet and greet, but with a positive effect. That's kind of what I was thinking of recently, but yeah, I think that'd be the good way. I think it'd be a fun, cool, effective way to do it. So it's like we can all hang out and have a positive impact. So maybe we'll work towards that. Do you wish you'd done a different sport? Look, sometimes you see some other sports and you're like, wow, like, that's cool. Like, I'd really enjoy that. And I really enjoyed playing soccer as a kid, and that's something I really like to do. But diving, I originally started because a girl I liked was doing it. Then I fell in love with the sport and became better at it from there, and it grew from there. But would I have wished I'd done a different sport? No, only because diving, like, it really challenges me physically, but mentally as well. Diving is so mental, which has helped my kind of mental game be really challenged daily, and which helps me stay like sharp, on my feet. It helps me with business. It helps me with everything. Social media. It helps me try to be the best I can in every area. But that's like any sport. And I found diving to be super effective for that with me. What's the highest you've ever jumped from? I think we did like 16, 17 meters at some rock jump one time. It actually hurt my feet and I had shoes on. So I don't know how the cliff divers do 27. That is insane. But the Olympic tower only goes up to 10 meters. So all of our Olympic diving is done there, but rock jumping, you can go a bit higher, and cliff diving is 20 and 27. Insane. Actually, if you haven't seen the Red Bull cliff diving vlog, go and check it out. It was a really good day. We were out there. We saw the world champions go and win their titles and compete. It was just an incredible day, and we were right there in the midst of it. You always seem happy and upbeat and smiling. Do you ever have bad days? I definitely do. And I feel like I'm quite happy these days because I've kind of been building the life that I want. Like I hang out with the people I like to hang out with, and they make me really happy. Like my friends, whenever I hang out with them, like we're happy, we're laughing. Like if something's wrong, like we'll discuss it and have that freedom to do so, which I think also contributes to being, comfortable and happy. And then I got my diving and my work, which I enjoy. But I feel like I've kind of surrounded myself with everything I want to do, which has helped me really be happy and really love life. But I still have my bad days. Like there's days diving doesn't go well. There's days, there's problems. There's always issues in anything you do. There's always problems. And I think just recognizing that although they're an issue or a problem right now, like it's not a major issue. So most problems come along and I can just deal with them without really affecting me. If it's a major issue, then I just, talk to my team, we get over it and work together as a team. But I find as a whole, I just try not to get too affected by the small kind of mini failures or things that come up each day. I feel like just being positive is a better way to tackle life. But there's definitely times when I'm down or I'm upset about something. Like we're all like that. We're all human, Best part of going to Hungary. Hungary was beautiful. One of my favorite things, aside from placing top 10 in the world, happy days, was the Hungarian natural pools. That was like my favorite place. That was insane. There was like 20 different pools. They had these 2 outdoor pools, which were so hot, like beautiful. Then inside, I just love the water so much. This was the best thing ever. They had like all these different pools, like all different temperatures, like nearly 20 of them, all different temperatures. Some from like absolute freezing cold to like really hot and anything in between, in all different size, different shape, like all these different pools. It was just insane. And there was 3 big ones outdoors, and then you could just like sunbake, soak in the sun. I felt in peak condition too because it was at World Champs. So I was just like chilling my days off, going for a swim in the hot pool, and it was just like the best thing ever. So those pools were like my favorite. In fact, I'd nearly go back to Hungary just for the pools. You could be sponsored by any company, who would it be? Or I quite like Apple and Tesla. I really like Tesla. I really like Elon. So anything Elon Musk would be doing, I'd be right behind. I really like him, the way he's built so many massive companies like SpaceX, Tesla, PayPal, SolarCity, the Boeing company. So maybe one of those one day. That'd be pretty cool. I can't want Tesla as well. So can you do a muscle up? Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, that one's not too hard. When I was younger, it took a long time to learn, just because the hardest bit is like if you can do a chin up and you can do a dip, they're like step A, step B, and then the hardest bit is from here to there. And it's just like I try to start with my hands like on the bar, like a little bit like this, not like that. So then when you do your chin up, it's easier to just like pop the shoulders over and push up from there. But yeah, I've been doing them for a long time, ever since I was a kid with gymnastics and stuff. So I can still do it. And even on the end of my two-month holiday, I was still able to do a muscle up, luckily. Oh, what's your favorite song? There's a few. As you guys know, I like the song Bullet by Watermat, So Real. That is like my favorite, and I played it like every day during the Olympics, and it was behind nearly every single video. In fact, I was so well known for it that whenever they put me on the news, they'd put that song behind it, which was kind of funny. I really enjoyed it. I love that song. I also like Walk on Water by 30 Seconds to Mars and On Top of the World by Imagine Dragons. They're like my top 3 bangers. And the Australian old classics, they're also pretty damn good. What pet peeves do you have? Oh God. I feel like I have too many, and they're just like the stupidest things ever. Like for example, if we're going through the Macca's drive-thru and like you ask me what I want to get, like 6 months before we turn up, like we're like driving there and you ask me when I get it. I don't know why, but that kind of irritates me. It's kind of like when I'm there, I like look at it and see. I don't know why, that's kind of like the thing. Pet peeves, what else? I like to sleep when it's pitch black and like dead quiet. So whenever I'm traveling and my friends make noise, I don't know why, it's like, it keeps me up. I need it like dark and quiet to get to sleep. And then once I'm asleep, I'm fine. So. What advice for someone trying to grow in self-confidence? That's a great question. And it's a constant battle. Like it's not something you've won, but it's something you're constantly working on. Kind of like your attitude and your mindset. I think when it comes to self-confidence, small things can help. Like, you know, going to the gym, being in shape, staying fit, looking after yourself, trying to eat well, trying to, you know, go to bed and get up at the same time. I feel like those things help with self-confidence, because the more reliant or the more diligent you can be on yourself, the more respect you have for yourself as well, you know. And then, you know, hanging around the right kind of people that are going to build you up, people that are going to help you improve but not degrade you while doing it. You know, you want to hanging around good people can make a huge difference in the self-confidence as well. And trying new things and getting out there and putting yourself out there, that all those things can help. And it's just like, you know, constantly chipping away. And so, you know, some days you feel a lot less confident than others. It's just the way it is as well. So some days I feel really confident, some days I don't, you know, but you just keep chipping away. But that's a great question. I feel like a lot of people could, and even me when I was younger, you know, self-confidence it's really important. Favorite song on Taylor Swift's new album? Not gonna lie, I didn't know she had a new album. What happened to Sam? Like, when I read this one, like, I was just like, it kind of insinuates that I've changed significantly. Like what happened to me? And I was like, or maybe it's saying like what happened to me, like when I was like growing up or something, as if something happened. I don't know how to answer this one, but it could even be like a power move. Like, like what happened to Sam? Like one of the Hamish and Andy's. I love their power move books. But yeah, what happened to Sam? He's chipping away. That's all I can say. I don't know. That's a tricky one. Are you afraid of heights? Look, I feel like everyone's afraid to heights to an extent, but not really. Like, it's not really a big fear of mine or something that I get overly concerned about. Obviously, when you're up there and you got to send it off the air, it can be a bit nerve-wracking, but it's not a huge fear of mine. And for those of you wondering, there was over like 40 questions about whether I'm single. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. As always, if you have any ideas for any videos or anything like that, send me a DM on Instagram. I've always got my eye on them to see what you guys want to see on the YouTube and other content around whatever we're doing. If you want to see the Red Bull cliff diving video, which was my last one, check it out right there. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.